They sang to you extra from New York.
They sang to both of us, and
Yes.
it was fabulous. And we did a little dancing together on the boat, and it's just been a fabulous time. The agency is really taking great care of helping put us together.
And how's like the day trip like? Because you haven't been here to Guatape. We're going to go to the town now, but we did the boat trip. You didn't climb the rock, but you saw the landscape.
Yes.
How is it?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everything here is beautiful. The culture is beautiful. The people are beautiful. Everybody's been so gracious. We're having a fabulous time, aren't we?
Yeah, they wanted to go helicopter flying now, but unfortunately the helicopter's right now not here, so we have to then leave that for the next time. But it's definitely a great experience and a great trip to do. So you can climb the rock, you can fly the helicopter, you can go eat and have a beautiful view, you can go shopping. So there's a little bit for everybody who decides to go to Guatape, and they usually say you haven't been to Medellin if you haven't been to Guatape. Like you have to go and do that excursion, and the rock is very famous, and we go to town now. El pueblo es bonito también, ¿cierto? Entonces, me encantan que se están conociendo. I love it that you have a great connection and that you have a good time and that you can explore the countryside together. So that's really cool. Y gracias por estas entrevistas aún corticas, pero thank you so much for that.
Bye-bye.
Ready for an exciting getaway? Break the routine and join us for our upcoming Latin tour in Medellin. Starts June 20th. Enjoy 2 nights of speed dating. You will meet hundreds of beautiful Colombian women. Submit your order at medellindating.com. Includes accommodation in a comfortable 5-star hotel. 7, 10, or 14 days. Contact us at our Phoenix office +160-2553-8178. Or our manager in Medellin, Manuela, +57350-437-2537. Rate us at infofecolombia@gmail.com. Find your perfect match and take your life to the next level with a foreign affair.
Hello, good evening everybody. It is Wednesday night. Welcome to our Latin show. My name is Maria and I'm your host for tonight. So welcome again. I'm very happy that you are here. So in this show, as usual, we talk about dating internationally, dating in Colombia, dating in Latin America. If you have any questions, guys, this is a live show. You can send questions in any time tonight and I'm happy to answer them. And you can also comment here in our comment section, and Kirk will be there as well to help to answer questions. But if you comment, I cannot read that. You have to send it into the question link so that I can get your questions directly. So yeah, welcome. As I said, the ones who have been here with me in the last couple of years, say I would love to see you guys and see who's here tonight. And also the ones who are new, we have lots of new people around, so that's also really nice, and welcome. So if you're new to Colombia, I would like to give you a quick update, how to get here, why dating here, and as I said, ask your questions away. For tonight, we prepared, you saw already our little promo video. We have our Medellin tour coming up next month. So we still have spaces available, guys. That is not happening a lot. So we have still spaces available for June 20th in Medellin. So if you would like to travel in a safe way and meet women in a safe way, date seriously and really find somebody long-term for a serious relationship, for marriage, for a partner of your life, for companionship, then please reach out. We still, as I said, have spaces available. You saw that already. What do you need to travel to Medellin, and a little bit about safety in general and how to stay safe. I'm going to tell you that in a couple of minutes. But just to get how to get into the country is first of all quite easy. You get a passport and plane ticket, and then you just decide to come. The tour dates are certain dates in the year. So if you want to go to one of our single tours, then you have to come on a certain date. If you want to go to any other day, any other time of the year, and you want to join and maybe meet somebody, you can do that too. And that is possible all year long. So so important is that you make the decision to really travel and to meet in person. So what is our singer tours? What is Medellin? What should you expect from Colombia and from that city? So first of all, Colombia is an amazing country. And Medellin is a beautiful city. And I know you might have been listening to some news in the last couple of months or whatever. Colombia, Medellin has always been in the news in the last 30 years, 40 years. So it's nothing new, and there's nothing really, I mean, it has changed a lot, obviously, from 40 years until now. I don't want to say it's the same. It obviously has changed a lot. Medellin has been very safe. Colombia has been very safe. But obviously, there are still parts where you have to be a little bit careful, right? All over the world, it is the same. And in Medellin, there are lots of very, very safe areas, and to stay safe, and especially dating, because it's not so much about the traveling, because the traveling, not we, like there are, as I said, if you go and reserve a good hotel in a good tourist area, and you take your Uber and you take your or not your Uber, you take safe transport, you don't flash jewelry or flash phones or flash money, you will be like just having common sense, not getting into drugs, party, like just do a normal travel, you will be totally safe and fine. Furthermore, we have a lot of expertise, a lot of connections, and a lot of people. So if you need that we set up something for you to pick you up at the airport, to help you with the hotel reservations, the recommendations, that is obviously possible. And then staying safe in dating is the same thing. It's not that of a challenge really to stay safe at all. Like, I mean, it's just common sense. Don't get drunk, don't party like crazy, don't take drugs with people you don't know, or don't go out to places where you haven't been, don't go out with people you never talk to. It's just like certain common sense to not get yourself in kind of a vulnerable situation, because yeah, dating is a vulnerable situation, but you can make that very safe when you have certain parameters in place. And so if you want to date through us, for example, you can do that obviously through our offices. We have managers, people, matchmakers in place, translators, drivers, etc., tourist companies we work with, partners we work with, so that you obviously get that whole accompaniment, right? The whole matchmaking part and the accompaniment in getting into the country. So yeah, with that being said, dating is, you can date very safely in Medellin. Even if you don't want to use a dating service like this one, a matchmaking service like this one, there are still a lot of things you can do to stay safe, right? So please, guys, don't stop traveling to Colombia, don't stop traveling to Medellin just because the safety department said, oh, Colombia or Medellin, because since the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it has always been like that. So it's really something to obviously keep in mind, like obviously not take unnecessary risks, but also just use common sense, talk to us, and you will be perfectly fine, perfectly safe, meet great women, stay in great hotels. So yeah, just that you keep that in mind. There's a really amazing city, and don't miss out on Medellin. It's one of the most innovative cities in Latin America. So you will be surprised how cool it actually is. So don't let yourself, as I said, like affect so much from the news. If I would have listened to the news 11 years ago, I would not be here as today, and I would have missed so many amazing things, and my life would have been very different if I would just have listened to that official thing. So go with your heart and your instinct and your gut. And if you have a feeling that this is a place where you have to go, you want to travel, you want to meet, you want to go out, or just visit, just visit this beautiful country. It's an amazing country with amazing people. So please don't hesitate to travel here just because you have a safety department saying something. Okay. If you have concerns, please reach out to us. Please call us. Please write an email. You see the email address is info@afacolombia@gmail.com. So you can reach out to us. You can call in our Phoenix office 602-553-8178. You can dial the extension 2018. Then you directly arrive on my phone. So that is really cool. So 602-553-8178 extension 2018, or you might the extension number 1. You get to customer service in Phoenix, and you can talk to anybody there and ask questions, which would be the best country for you to go. And but believe me, we have had a lot of different people here in the last years and decades, and people love Colombia, and it's so surprising. I just had my brother and my stepbrother visiting, and from Germany, and he was like, okay, I didn't expect it to be like that. It's just really different. So it is really different. It's a really, really, really beautiful place to be. So don't miss out. It's an amazing opportunity to travel, to meet people, to fall in love, and to hopefully find your spouse, your future wife. I mean, that is amazing. We had great news. We had this weekend also a wedding in Medellin. So congratulations, Roger and Lida. It has been amazing. Manuela was part of your story on that last Saturday, and we all were part of your meeting last year. Both met on one of our tours last year in Medellin, and now they are married. So and we have a lot of couples and engagements from the tours last year. It was incredible. It was really, really cool. And we are very, very happy you guys are also coming back. The ones who have not been engaged and the ones who have been making contacts. I saw lots of you were here in April, Martin, Steve. So cool that you came back from the guys from our last tour in April. And obviously there are a lot more. Like, I know you guys are always coming back, obviously with your connections or maybe doing new connections. So that is really, really cool. Let me see if you have already some questions, guys. If you already sent some comments in, I'm always happy to see you, to hear from you. Sean, I want to try to visit Colombia this year. Yes, Sean, that would be great. Let me know if you need anything to help you to set you up to come. Adventures and Explorings, who will be organizing and greeting us guys and looking after us from the Cartagena office, please? Her name is Ladies, our office manager and matchmaker in Cartagena. She has been with AFA since 2016, very experienced, knows everybody in Cartagena. So Ladies, Leydys, is the person you have to look out for too. Her email address is afacartagena@gmail.com. So if you want to reach out to her directly, if not, you can also write to info@afacolombia@gmail.com, the email address you see here, and then we forward Ladies your email, no problem. Moondog, Medellin is the most improved city in the world over the last 30 years. Yeah, Medellin is impressive. Medellin is amazing. I mean, you saw what happened all in Medellin, and now like how it changed, all the parks, the art, the government, the mayor had done a lot for the city, the last mayors. It's very green, as I said, a lot of public parks, a lot of public fitness, like where you can work out and exercise, and libraries. It's a really, really, really vibrant city to be in, and a very special place. It's a very special city, I would say. Yeah, Cartagena office, exactly. Rodolfo, are you actually responsible if you go out on date nights with the lady paying everything for her? Yes, Rodolfo. So I just saw a reel today. I thought it was very fun. So what is the different cultures in the dating behavior and what women expect? So that was the reel about. And it was a little bit about the expectation of the woman in Latin America that the man does pay the bill for the restaurant. Like, it's not normal to split the bill. I know that in other countries it's becoming more normal. Here it's not. The woman would get offended if you tell her there will be no second date if you tell her she has to pay the restaurant bill. Normally it's also very common that you guys take care of her transportation. For example, here it's still common that the man picks the woman up and brings her home. So as you are here and have no car, so obviously you can pay her the taxi. That is what most men do. Taxis are not that expensive like in other countries. Here a taxi is $5, $6. With $10 she is already far away, you know. So like with $5 she drives like 20-30 minutes. So don't worry too much about the taxi cost, but yes, it is expected that you do pay the restaurant bill, the taxi, and in general everything you do with her. Like if you go on an excursion, you pay that excursion. If you go in a spa, you pay the spa. If you go on a vacation, you pay the vacation. Okay, so basically you are responsible for the financial part. What is the best restaurant to take the lady to, Rodolfo? I'm not sure in which city. There are a lot of different cities, depending where you are. We can obviously make you restaurant recommendations to say what is the best restaurant in every city. There are a lot of great restaurants. Like Barranquilla has really good restaurants. All types of restaurants, Arabic, Italian, seafood, Colombian, obviously Peruvian, Japanese combinations, fusions, really good food. And Barranquilla, Cartagena, the same, Medellin, the same, Santa Marta has good options too. So depending where you are, but we can recommend you different options, and depending on the price you want to spend. Obviously, some are more expensive than others. So guys, if you have questions, as I said, let me know, send them in about the tour. Some of you might be wondering, okay, what is included in the tour? Why should I take the tour? Why should I go individually? What is the advantage? The advantage of the tour is really very special because that is just 3 times a year. So if you have the possibility, go to the tour because you get more things than you might get in the rest of the year. Also, I like the rest of the services as well. And so don't worry if you cannot go on a tour. But if you can, it's amazing because you get airport pickup included, hotel included, you get unlimited introductions the whole time, 7, 10, or 14 days, depending how long is the tour. Unlimited introductions. You get the city tour included. You have 2 socials included, Friday and Saturday, fully catered with 80 to 100, 120 women for speed dating, or like to meet in speed dating per night, different people per night. So it's between 80 and 120 women per night, every night, Friday or Saturday, depending how big is the tour, yes. But there will be a lot of women you can meet that will be in a speed dating environment, and that is everything included in that tour. So the only thing which is not included is obviously the payment. As you said, when you go on a date, you invite her for a restaurant, the taxis and all that, but you don't have to pay for the introductions. That's included, okay? So it's a lot of fun. And then we have extra activities like the party bars and the dancing and Guatape, or the island trip, depending where we are. In Medellin, we do Guatape. Guatape is the rock where you climb up. It's really nice. So yeah. But before we talk a little bit more about Medellin and about that, I would like to show you one of our women from Medellin. Because, you know, we always have interviews prepared for you guys, and we do have, did I mention that? I think I didn't mention, sorry. We have interviews prepared tonight as well. And the interviews would be, the first one to start with would be Monica. Her ID is 217979.
Y me encanta continuar la noche de hoy con unas hermosas chicas que tenemos aquí en la ciudad de Medellín, y una de ellas es Mónica. ¿Cómo estás, Mónica?
Muy bien, muchas gracias.
Me alegra, Mónica. Bueno, yo quiero saber un poquito más de ti. ¿Cuántos años tienes? ¿A qué te dedicas? ¿Qué te gusta hacer en tu tiempo libre?
Tengo 25 años, soy diseñadora de modas, y en mis tiempos libres me gusta caminar por el bosque, me gusta viajar, me encantan los videojuegos, soy una persona muy estudiosa, me encanta el estudio, paso mucho tiempo leyendo, investigando.
Y bueno, Mónica, yo te voy a hacer pues aquí como un paréntesis, porque eres una mujer muy joven, muy hermosa, y estoy segura que esta será la pregunta de muchos: ¿qué está haciendo Mónica en una agencia matrimonial? ¿Qué esperas encontrar tú aquí, Mónica? ¿Qué es lo que estás buscando para tu vida, ese hombre especial, esas cualidades que tú consideres importantes?
Me gustaría encontrar a una persona que busque algo como yo, como a largo plazo. Creo que es difícil encontrar personas que se enfoquen en algo serio, y pienso un poco diferente de la mayoría. Me gustaría como algo que tenga como más duración en el tiempo.
Mónica, y bueno, queremos conocer un poco más de ti, y la idea es que vamos a empezar una dinámica donde tú vas a sacar 3 preguntas, las vas a leer y las vas a responder.
Claro.
Entonces vamos a empezar con la primera.
¿Qué detalles no materiales le darías a tu futuro esposo?
Si quieres, yo te recibo acá.
Creo que masajes, cocinar para él, caminar con él, enseñarle cosas que a mí me gustan, compartir juntos, compartir tiempo.
Y bueno,
muchas cosas.
no, Mónica, yo te pregunto porque hablas de algo, hay muchos hombres ahí mismo, yo creo que paran las antenitas, paran los oídos cuando escuchan el cocinar. ¿Te gusta cocinar? No eres experta, pero no tienes problema con experimentar.
A mí me encanta aprender, estoy abierta a aprender de todos los temas y me encanta cocinar, no soy experta cocinando, pero me gusta explorar.
No, eso está súper bien. Yo creo que lo más importante es uno tener esa facilidad de explorar y probar cosas diferentes.
Sí.
Continuemos con la siguiente pregunta.
La pregunta. ¿Cómo sería tu cita ideal? Mi cita ideal sería en un lugar tranquilo, que haya naturaleza, donde se pueda hablar cómodamente, con música tenue y luz tenue también.
Ay, es una cita muy romántica, por lo que veo eres una mujer también muy romántica.
Soy muy
Y
romántica.
apasionada de la naturaleza también.
Sí.
Continuemos, te recibo acá.
¿Cómo te describirías en una sola palabra? En una sola palabra.
Está difícil.
Creo que ni siquiera yo misma puedo describirme, tengo demasiadas facetas.
Bueno, pero digamos, si una persona dijera Mónica es, ¿cómo podría decir que Mónica es? Cariñosa, es una mujer responsable, inteligente. ¿Cómo podría alguien decir cosas de Mónica?
Definirlo en una sola palabra es difícil, pero sí hay muchas palabras para definir.
Por ejemplo, ¿cuál es?
Cariñosa, inteligente, no sé.
Amorosa, ¿será?
Sí, amorosa.
Bueno, y eso está bien, porque yo a veces pienso que uno limitarse solamente con una palabra es muy difícil y seguramente tienes cosas muy bonitas que resaltar en ti y eso es muy importante no tener claro de una sola palabra que me defina muy complicado.
Así es.
Mónica, ¿y cómo una persona se gana tu corazón? ¿Qué tiene que hacer un hombre para ganarse el corazón tuyo?
Creo que para que alguien se gane mi corazón debería existir la admiración. Necesito tener que admirar a alguien para enamorarme de esa persona. Soy un poco... me cuesta enamorarme, pero cuando lo hago entrego todo de mí.
Ay, bueno, Mónica, mil gracias por esta entrevista. Claro que pudimos conocer un poco más de ti y para los caballeros que quieran conocerte, muy pronto van a tener el ID de Mónica para poder contactarla. ¿Listo?
Claro que sí.
Enjoyed getting to know Monica a little bit more. Monica will be on our social. So if you want to meet her, that would be one of the next opportunities. If you want to meet her, that would be one of the next opportunities to meet her. Wow, I cannot talk today. So as I said, 20th of June, that is a month, like 5 weeks left. So you can meet Monica in Medellin, as I said, on the social. If you want to reach out to her prior to that, you can do that obviously as well. We have the possibility to do a video call with her or to also write her a letter. So if you want to write her a letter through our website, you can do that too. But you can also sign up for the tour and then you put her on the hot list and then we invite her. I mean, she's already invited. So, but then we can set up dates for you. Okay. So, so if you have any questions to Monica, you can do that, as I said, through us, no problem, and then you can meet her. If you have any other questions, okay, Trey. Hi, Trey, I missed you. I haven't heard you in a while. How is everything? The question was about what she could do. She said, show him things I like. No matter the country, they're all the same. Trey, I don't understand that comment because what is the problem if somebody shows what she likes or what the person likes? I mean, it is part of getting to know the other person. And I think I haven't heard the interview, so maybe it did regard to something special. But in general, I mean, it's normal that somebody shows you what she likes or what she likes to go or what is a good place in her city. So, and you will probably also show her things you like, or no? I mean, it's about in a relationship that both people do things they like, right? And show things they like to the other person. Monica is agnostic. That does not work for me, but maybe another man that might work for her. Global international agnostic, it doesn't mean she does not believe. She's not an atheist, is that the word? Agnostic means she's not religious, so it doesn't mean she doesn't believe in God. It's something maybe to talk with her too, but it says she's not religious. So if you're religious, then that's probably, yeah, as you said, not a match for you. But just because she doesn't believe in a religion doesn't mean she believes in God. Like most women do believe in God here. Yeah. The potential is amazing. However, it's more probable than not to really be successful if you do not speak the same language. Communication is the very foundation of a successful relationship. Swole, I totally agree with you. Communication is the very foundation of a successful relationship, definitely. And that is where a lot of people have issues with. And people who speak the same language have a lot of communication issues. So, and that is actually what happens a lot. Like, I'm not saying that the language is not important. Obviously, it's good to learn the language, and obviously communication itself get easier if you speak the language. But it's not sometimes so much about the language, it's not the way how you communicate and what you communicate. And that makes a huge difference. And believe me, I have seen so many couples with not having the language, same language, and they have a language barrier, and they're able to communicate very well, and they're having a very well relationship. Obviously, it's, in my opinion, it's in the beginning you don't need that, not that much, and then you obviously pick up and you learn more, because obviously it's more easier if you speak the other person's language. But believe me, you don't have to speak that same language to be successful in a relationship. You would think that one thing comes with the other. I have seen couples who speak the same language who have no communication at all and have no very good communication in their relationship. And I've seen couples with not the same language and have really good communication with each other. And, we have technology nowadays. You can use Google Translate. There are translators in real person, in real life, in person, I mean, and it is definitely possible to have a successful relationship without speaking the same language. I always love to tell that story. I think I have told it several times, but I was one time in Medellin in the Du Park Hotel and on the tour, and there was a couple sitting and they were waving at me, and they were like talking like that on the phone, like translator. He was talking, she was replying, he was talking, she was replying, the other way around. And so I said, oh, okay, maybe it's also one of our couples, or maybe somebody I haven't met. So I went to the table and said, hey, are you one of our couples? I haven't met you. Like maybe some of the prior couples or whatever. And he said, no, we met, but we're actually married since 4 years, and she hasn't learned English and I haven't learned Spanish, and we're still doing the Google Translate, and we're doing really well, and we're doing really fine. I mean, you do need some patience, but they were having a great communication. They didn't speak the same language. So yeah, I do agree with you. Definitely communication is the foundation, but it's not necessarily that you say it doesn't work out. The potential is amazing, Swole, and the potential is definitely there. Two people have to do obviously their part, right? But believe me, I have seen it so many times. You don't need the same language. Trey, the problem is the question about what she could do. Watch the interview, she deflected, made it about herself, just an observation. Trey, that is a valid observation. I mean, if you do interview somebody, you ask about that person, right? Like if I ask you what you like, you will probably tell me. If I interview you, you will tell me what you like. Maybe you wouldn't say then, yeah, I would do what my partner would do, right? I'm not saying that Monica would not do that, but it's a little bit about the interview, obviously about herself. But I watched the interview and no problem. I think women in general are focused. Not all women obviously are focused on themselves, but I mean, everybody's a little bit focused on themselves, right? It's not that everybody's focused always on other people. And but I do hear you, and I do think it's valid to observe and see, but I think it's difficult to say all women are the same and generalize everything, because it's very negative, and it's a very negative comment. And if you haven't met a Colombian woman, if you haven't talked to several Colombian women, and if you haven't talked to several cultures and different cultures, I think it's very difficult to say that is all of them or all are the same. Because if all women are the same, then I don't know, then it's probably difficult to find one that is not like that and that is going to match your criteria and be there for you. So just like an observation as well. So yeah, guys, it's not easy to find the right match, and there are so many opportunities, like so many possibilities, and obviously you have to feel and meet and talk, and it's a process about finding the right one. And I'm not saying like some women, you know, some things are, oh, this is great and I love that and that and that, and you have to get the person, like, because then you say, oh yeah, everything was so perfect, and then it maybe wasn't until you met her, or when you meet her, it's not that like that. But it's part of the process, and actually it's a long process to really find that special one. It's very difficult to say, oh, I know her because I just saw a 2-minute interview. I mean, you do get an impression of that person, but it takes to really start a relationship, to really get to know the person, especially from a different culture, and to be able to understand the other culture, because you're going, like, you're not dating in your own culture. If you're watching that show, is because you're looking into dating in another culture. And so if you want to date in another culture, it's a lot of things you have to learn about that culture. Jose, I just went to Medellin on my first ever trip to Colombia, and I loved it. The people are very friendly and the girls are so nice and down to earth. Jose, I agree with you. And cool that you went on your first ever trip to Colombia. So that is really, really cool. I think so the women are also down to earth. You're always going to find women who are very high maintenance or whatever, gold diggers or whatever, but it is about the type of woman you're selecting. And also, as I said, you have to get to know the person. It's not just like, I believe everything you say from the first moment or whatever, right? It's really a process of getting to know each other and asking a lot of questions. It is ever encouraged for the ladies to present as natural as possible. Trench, I don't understand the question either. We ask the woman to present themselves, obviously, to present themselves and in a nice way. I mean, you wouldn't probably, if you go to a wedding, you know, you wouldn't probably go in jogging trousers. You would probably wear a suit. So if you go into dating, you probably wear a nice dress or a nice something, right? And the woman obviously, like, do pay attention to their outfits. Like if you go to a photo shooting, you probably won't go into your pajamas. I don't know if you maybe refer more to the makeup and like how they are presented. In general, women here, if they go to those occasions, like in the evening, on a date, on lunch, in an invitation, a photo shooting, they do present themselves and they make a lot of makeup and hair, because that's just part of the culture. But there are a lot of very natural, like in general, in their normal environment, when they go to work or when you see them in the gym or when you see them at home, obviously they are very natural. We don't say how the woman should present themselves. We do say they should present themselves in a good presented way, not like in completely rotten jeans and totally rotten t-shirt and no makeup at all. I mean, we do not say that, but we don't tell her she has to go to the hairdresser or she has to do professional makeup or she has to do whatever. No, we tell her she should bring some nice clothes. She should present herself well. Obviously pay attention to that. But if you need any further more natural photos, if you see somebody say, hey, I would love to have some more natural photos, you can do that. If you pay for a matchmaking service, you can get that information. Also, if you write a letter and ask for some natural photos, she might send you some. Okay. So that I think it's valid, that question too, because sometimes you see people very produced and then obviously without makeup, it's a different thing. And there are some different tastes and some women tend to use more makeup than others. So I understand the question. So in case you use one of the matchmaking services, we can ask for additional photos, no problem. And for more natural photos. Which city should be visited first? Barranquilla, Medellin, Cartagena, and why? That is a good question, and it's a difficult question because it's different for everybody. So depending what you want, it's a little bit different. What I always say is, why don't you go on the website, look at the profiles and put women in your hot list. And then at the end of that, you look at your hot list and then you see, okay, I have 20 from Medellin, 5 from Cartagena and 3 from Barranquilla. Then you should definitely go to Medellin because you have 20 women you're interested in. If you have 10, 10, 10, yeah, then you could probably go to every city. Then I would maybe go by the weather, by the geographic, if you rather want to the ocean, if you rather want to do the mountains. So if it's not about the woman, if not more about the, yeah, I think that's probably the decision. If it's about the woman or about the geographics. And then there's maybe a better city deciding on what is better for you. The more touristy cities are Cartagena, Medellin, and Santa Marta. Barranquilla is not as touristy. But I like Barranquilla. It's a good city, and it's a good city for dating. Maria, you just said organic chocolate. Hi, you said something very true about dating someone from different culture being a long process. It is a long process because you do have to get to know yourself first, right? So when you start dating, you learn a lot about yourself. Then you learn a lot about that new person. Then you learn about that new culture. Then you learn about that new language. Then you learn about the new family. So, and then you build up that long distance relationship. And then you learn about that. What is important for this woman in this culture? What is important for this man from this culture? So everybody learns. And then until you get engaged, until you get married, until you get the visa, it takes a while. So talking about it takes a while, we have the topic for today is how to maintain a long distance relationship, because that is lots of you who are watching that today, tomorrow, and the next couple of weeks are in a long distance relationship, and maybe some of you are struggling or say, okay, I'm not yet in a relationship, but I want to know what can I do so that I'm not struggling so much when I am in one. So let me give you some of the points we collected for you, what you could do so that your long distance relationship is successful, because obviously that is a big influence on your relationship, and obviously the distance takes a toll and it's not easy to overcome when it goes for a long time. So let me take a sip of water and then I get into that. So the first point on the list is to be successful in a long distance relationship is also important to make a good choice from the beginning. It's obviously not so easy sometimes to make that good choice. That's where we come in. So that's why we say don't do one of our matchmaking services, the Elite Club, the Latin Club, or the individual introduction, or the tours. I really would recommend you the Elite Club. That is our more personalized matchmaking service. So to start with, to be able to have a successful relationship is to choose a good woman already from the beginning. Somebody who's emotionally healthy, because I'm sorry, that's going to be getting complicated if she's emotionally not healthy and you have a fight in the long distance. It's going to be a little bit stressful, because if she doesn't know how to deal with her emotions, and I'm not saying that she cries. I had a client saying sometimes, yeah, but if she cries, women do cry. That happens, right? I'm not saying because she cries, she's not emotionally healthy. But if she cries every day all the time, then that might be something to look into. But somebody who's emotionally healthy, who's honest, somebody who's hardworking, if she has a job, that is also good, because if she has a job and you have a long distance, she is in constant movement as well. She's not getting that bored, and also she may be not expecting right away that you maintain her because she doesn't have a job. So it is important that you know her well before you commit to her. So committing, let's say, getting engaged or getting married, but also the relationship, because you're going to spend the next 3 months, maybe, I don't know how quickly you can come back, in texting her, talking to her, talking on the phone, and then coming back. And that is obviously already time and money. Very, very important are the frequent visits. The more you can visit, the better. The less time between one visit and the other, obviously, the better. Some people are not that flexible, so some can travel every 6 months, every 4 months, every 3 months. So if you can travel every 3 months, that would be ideal, so that you see each other at least 4 times a year. And if you maybe meet at a different place, you don't always have to come to Colombia. You can meet her in Panama, you can meet her in the Dominican Republic, in Mexico, in Cancun. So in Europe, there are a lot of different places where you can go with her, where she doesn't need a visa, and you don't have to maybe go the whole way, and you can meet in the middle. But yeah, at least every 2-3 months would be amazing if you can see each other, because the women here are very physical as well. So if you're not coming, if you're not here in person, and also tell her the date. Like when you leave, tell her the date we are planning to come back next time, so she has something to look forward to. Because if you're coming here and say, yeah, I don't know when I'm coming back, it's going to be complicated. She needs to know. It's normal. Dynamic dates by video call, that is very important. You have to be a little bit creative, getting creative now how to do the dates, because if you do just Zoom calls and you talk and then you have the language and you have to translate, or there are different ways how to do a video call. Skype has subtitles if you are in direct communication, obviously, and if not, you can also put a computer here and then do this, right? Like I talk on my phone, she talks on her phone, or his, no, and so like that, and then maybe we can, I don't know, maybe we can understand each other as well. But it's getting a little bit odd, or it's getting a little bit boring after a couple of weeks and months just doing every day or every 3 days or every 7 days a video call and talk about the same. So you can do more dynamic in the video calls. For example, you could cook together, like today you prepare the favorite Colombian food, and then the next day you prepare the American or European or whatever food from your home, or your mom's dish and her mom's dish, and all those things. So cook together, learn about the recipes, the food of the other culture, prepare cocktails together, you know, make a mix. There even Zoom online classes where you can shake together cocktails, or you do it together. Today we make a whatever mojito, just something different, you know. There are online board games you can play together. You can watch a movie together, like you put the computer here, she puts the computer, you put the same movie on, and that is possible. Or a series, you can watch a series together, for example, whatever, Griselda, there's a new really good series from Colombia. So if you haven't watched that, Griselda, I recommend you that on Netflix. Do questions and enter games, like games with each other, exactly. So getting creative, what you can do on a video call, and not just talk all the time, right? Maybe getting also other people sometimes in the call. Hey, he's my nephew, or here I'm at work, or show her another place, or look, this is my dog, or whatever. Like trying to make it more dynamic. Okay. Very important is the next one, guys. This is so important in Colombia and in Latin America. Send details on important dates, anniversaries, birthdays, Women's Day in March, 8th of March, anniversary, birthday, every month. For the couple's birthday, for example, I'm not saying like every month you have to do it. Like, for example, it was the 7th of December, like maybe the first month of the 7th of January, you know, like 1 month later, hey, we are 1 month together, I sent you the present. The women love these things. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Can be even virtually, can be just, you know, even a card if it's nothing else. Don't always send flowers. Flowers are great from time to time, but not all the time flowers, like also some different things. I had a woman now, she was dating a guy for a couple of months, and she said, I really expect something great for Mother's Day. Mother's Day was just 3 days ago. I think, yeah, in most of the places in the world, it was, I think in Argentina, it's in October, in some parts it's in another place, another time, but it was Mother's Day. So she expected a really good gift for Mother's Day. So Mother's Day, birthday, Women's Day, all those days, anniversary, 6 months of anniversary, 1 month of anniversary. Like the women here are really spoiled, not spoiled, but they're used to getting gifts and details, and that's their love language as well. They love that. And the man who wants to seduce a woman has to give some gifts, and not just in the beginning, like in the video calls. In the long distance relationship, it's very important that you give little gifts, and that she feels that you are there. Yeah. And that you know what's going on in the relationship, and that you're aware of those dates. If you can't remember them, then put them in the calendar. You all have agendas, put them in the calendar. 1 month of anniversary, send a gift to my honey. So you have that, and then make a 3-day, 5-day, 7-day reminder, and then you send her something. Okay. Support her, exactly. Support her. That's also very important. Accompany her, love her. But do not support her 100%. Like support her in some things, in some extra, some she cannot afford, or some electricity bill at some point, not right away, not after the first date. But support her, but not 100%. Don't pay everything. Okay? Don't pay everything. This creates a toxic relationship and dependency and imbalance. She should feel your support, but she should know that you're not her unlimited ATM. And that is very important, very, very important. Make long-term plans together, meeting trips, living together, commitment, furniture, projects of any kind, passport, visa, very low-cost ventures if necessary. Learn each other language together. That is also a really great activity. You know, you guys learning the language together, like making the effort, use apps together, Q&As, exercises, practice on the phone. Like you can speak ask in Spanish, she can answer in English, or the other way around. Or today we have a joke day and you tell me a joke in Spanish and I tell you one in English, or whatever. You know, make it creative, learn the language together. And it's important that you both learn the language, even if you want that she moves to the United States or to another country, to Europe, to Australia, and you want her to learn English, but it's also important, or German or French or Spanish, like Spanish she speaks, but it is also important that you learn some Spanish. That is important too. I know some of you guys said, well, why if she lives in my country? Because you want to talk to the family, you want to talk to the mom, to the grandmother, to the grandfather. Not everybody will be able to talk to you in English. Especially you're going to come and visit the first 1.5 years all the time. So you're going to meet her family more than she meets yours. So your Spanish will be more necessary in the beginning than her English. So just that you keep that in mind, learning both languages is very important. Create the opportunity and time to talk clearly about each other's goals in the relationship. Be honest and clear and ask the same of her. The goals and also the financial expectations. What do you expect in a relationship? What do you expect when we're getting engaged? What do you expect when we're getting married? What do you expect with your parents? What do you expect? Okay. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is important. If you haven't had the WhatsApp, you're going to have WhatsApp after you came here to Colombia or Latin America. So daily communication is important in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Good morning, good night. What did you eat? How did you sleep? How are you? How did it go? Are you worried? Is everything okay? What about your mom? How's your sister? Compliments, tell her that she's looking beautiful when she sends you a photo, all of that. Compliments are very important. Attention is very important. Traumas of infidelity. It is possible that she's jealous or that she has some insecurities with other women during the period of distance. Be patient, try not to give her reasons to be jealous, and also be patient if she gets jealous, explain. Like if you always talk, oh, my colleague at work, and she's amazing, my colleague at work, she's going to get very jealous of that colleague at work, even if your colleague at work is really just a colleague. So women have been cheated on here a lot. They expect the man not to be faithful, so they expect that. So that's why they are very jealous, and that's why they're sometimes a little bit controlling or possessive. But usually after a while, when she realizes she's not dating that type of man anymore, and you have patience and talk her through a little bit, then usually she relaxes very, very much in a very short amount of time. You do not mention, I think that was what Trey was saying, what do the women do for her man? This is an outlook I do not like. Larry, I mean, obviously the question, I don't know if the question was, what would you do for the man? If she says, I tell him, I have to watch the interview. I agree with you. I don't know if she answered in that moment, like, yeah, I would show him what I like if you do what you do with the man. So yeah, I do understand the question. But most of the women here, and it's always good to ask that question. Why not asking that question? We also try to ask that in the interviews usually. And the women are very aware of their man. I mean, they are centered, and obviously they want to feel like a princess and all that, but they are very aware of their man. They take good care of their man. Like they always pay attention that you were taken care of, you know, and they're very caring, very loving. But it's a good point. Obviously, you want to know what a woman can offer you and not only what you can offer to the woman. So that's valid. So definitely it's a question to ask. Why will it not work? Most men from abroad are not going to be working in Colombia, and if they are, they won't be making a lot of money. Larry, I don't know what the question is related to. Maybe the language. are not going to be working in Colombian. If they are, they won't be. Maybe with the language, I don't know what you're referring to. The language, as I said, it's not that you're going to work in Colombia and you need a language because of that. You need it more to communicate with her family and her friends, because you're going to come and visit probably for 2 years every 3 months, or for 1.5 years every 3 months. So if you spend here 7 days every 3 months, or 5 days every 3 months, and you're going to talk to the family, some Spanish is helpful. That is just the thing. I don't know what was the question about. Do all the 3 cities cost the same, or is there one more expensive? Barranquilla is the cheapest. The other 2 are quite expensive. Medellin quite expensive compared to the United States or other parts. Is not that expensive, but for Colombia, Medellin and Cartagena is more expensive than other cities. But Barranquilla is cheaper. The hotels are cheaper. Food is not that much cheaper. Food is pretty much the same, I think, everywhere. The restaurants are a little bit cheaper in Santa Marta and Barranquilla too than maybe Medellin and Cartagena. Yeah, Medellin, Cartagena are more expensive. The culture, the weather, and the vibes are different between Medellin, Cartagena, and Barranquilla. Yes, the culture, the weather, and the vibes are different. Cartagena, Barranquilla are at the coast, so it's very warm. You're at the ocean. The women are very outgoing, fun. There's a lot of activities, like the sun is always shining, the weather is always good, so there's always a good mood. So the vibe is very positive vibe. The weather is very warm, and it's very colorful at the coast. If you go to Cartagena, you have colors everywhere. Medellin is not like that. Medellin is not as colorful. Medellin is more mountains. The weather is like spring. It's not like summer. I mean, it's warm too, but it's like spring. It can get between 18 and 27 degrees probably, and not in Fahrenheit, and the other one Celsius. And it's a different vibe. The people are very nice. They're not as outgoing and like party vibes like in, but I mean, Medellin, you can do a lot of party too, but it's not like as joyful maybe in Medellin. But the people are very friendly, very nice, very service oriented, very hardworking, and also the city is just beautiful, just very innovative. But it's very different. You will probably see the interior a little bit more modern. It's more modern than maybe the coast, but the coast are also very modern parts. I mean, Cartagena, they call the new part Little Miami. So it's a little bit different. Yes, every city is a little bit different. Barranquilla girls are the prettiest to me, Kingland, but the Medellin Paisa accent is sexy, lol. Yes, I think that happens to everybody. The Paisa accent is very sexy. And everybody likes that accent. So that's also part, not just the beauty, also the accent. But yeah, I think the Barranquilla women are very pretty. I'm not going to Colombia because love the woman and the country, but crime is the reason I have not returned to the country. Lamont, that is a pity, but the crime has not really been different than it has been in the last 10 years. That's why I was saying, like, since I'm here, it's 12 years. I would not say it's more dangerous now than it has been. I do agree. I mean, a little bit after pandemic, it has been a little bit, yeah, but I would not say that you have to be afraid. I wouldn't be afraid at all in Cartagena, in Medellin, and in Cartagena also not. As I said, if you use common sense and you just and Lamont, you have been talking to us, and you know the offices, you know the hotels, you know that we have the airport pickups and the drivers and everything. So we can help you to make that experience, even if you feel unsafe, a very, very, very safe experience. But as I said, you don't even have to feel unsafe. I don't feel unsafe at all. What would be a good second date if the first one was very successful? First time I will come to Colombia. Most first dates are usually like kind of a eating date. So why not doing on the second date something more active, like maybe an excursion or some sports or horseback riding or squat or canopy or parachuting or like something, you know, or dance lessons or shopping or city tour, like doing something that is a little bit more active, so that you don't always sit and talk, if not doing maybe some fun things together too. Guys, if you have questions, please send them. We're going to show you one more interview of one of our women from Medellin. Her name is Juliana. And Juliana, her ID is, give me a second. Juliana's ID is 218292.
Hola, mi nombre es Juliana, vivo en Medellin, tengo 31 años. En mis tiempos libres me encanta ir al gimnasio, compartir tiempo en familia, leer, escuchar música. Me encanta la naturaleza, me encanta el senderismo y salir a trotar.
What do you do for living?
Soy masoterapeuta. Hago diferentes tipos de masajes relajantes, descontracturantes, piedras volcánicas.
What are you looking for in the agency?
Básicamente, me gusta conocer personas nuevas y me encantaría conocer una persona que sea caballeroso, respetuoso. Me importa más el ser como persona, cómo me trata, sus valores, y que podamos entendernos muy bien, tener proyectos juntos, querer salir adelante y conseguir muchas cosas juntos.
How would you describe yourself?
Responsable, amorosa, dedicada.
What do you have to offer in a relationship?
Siempre trato de dar lo que pido. Trato de ser una persona totalmente entregada, leal, respetuosa, dedicada a mi pareja. Me encanta poder entregar todo de mí y mi ser como persona y dar a conocer todos mis valores.
Say 3 good things and 3 bad things about you.
3 cosas buenas: emprendedora, soy muy responsable, apasionada. No tan buenas, un poquito ansiosa por conseguir cosas.
Do you like to cook? What is your favorite food?
Un poco, no mucho, pero el aliado. Sí, es una sopa colombiana que es básicamente una sopa de papas o pollo, pero es muy rica porque tiene cremita de leche y tiene el sabor de rico.
Would you be willing to have children?
Sí, me gustaría ser madre en algún momento de mi vida. Bueno, los invito a que si desean pueden contactarse conmigo. Puedo enseñarles un poco de la ciudad, enseñarles los lugares lindos que tiene la ciudad. Me encanta mucho salir a caminar, entonces salir por lugares donde haya mucha naturaleza, salir a caminar, que nos podamos conocer un poco, y estoy disponible para recibir sus mensajes. Chao, besitos.
So you guys, we are back and I hope you like Juliana. So as I said, you can also reach out to her. You can meet her in Medellin next month on the 20th of June. Our tour is going to start. So don't forget to sign up for that tour. It's going to be amazing. Our tours are always amazing in Medellin. As I said, last tour we had amazing couples, lots of engagement. We had just had a marriage this weekend from that last tour. So it could be your opportunity to meet that right one for you. If you cannot do it in June 20th in Medellin, we also have July, give me a second, July 18th, Barranquilla, and then we have again Medellin in August 29th, and then we have Barranquilla again in October on October 3rd, and then we have Cartagena October 31st. So yeah, any of these dates you can join. You can also come any time of the year individually. It doesn't have to be on the tour. You can just buy a plane ticket. It would be good if you reach out to us prior, because we had like last week a couple of very last minute men coming. And so like if you pay today and expect tomorrow the date, we might be able to manage that if it's only one. But if you want to meet like 10 people and you come today and you pay today and you want to go on dates tomorrow, that is nearly impossible, because we need time to organize. We need your photos, your description. We have to reach out to them. They have to say yes. We have to organize the dates, the imbras, the background forms, the meetings, the places, the restaurants, the reservations. So it's not just from one day to the other. So, but if you decide, okay, I want to come in 2 weeks, reach out to us today, say, hey, I'm traveling 2 weeks. This is my hot list, or that is the type of woman I'm interested in. I want 5 introductions in Medellin, or I want the Latin club, or I'm interested in the Elite club, and then we help you to set that up. The Elite club is a matchmaking service which usually takes 3 to 4 months, and you start with video calls. You can select all women all over Colombia. The whole Colombian database is included, and you have 20 hours of video calls, $500 of correspondence credit, 8 hours of translation per day for 10 days included as well. So that is a very successful program. And yeah, if you're really serious about dating, meeting somebody, and if you're like in this dating jungle, say, yeah, I like them all, or they all look very nice, and I don't know who I'm going to choose and who I should actually put on the hot list and who's actually meeting my criteria, then this is the really good service for you. If you say, I want to be like more spontaneously, as I said, I'll travel in 2 weeks and meet in person, because the Elite Club, you need like 3 months, 2-3 months, a little bit of preparation. But if you say, I want to travel in 2 weeks, I want to meet in person in 2 weeks, then we can do that too. But please, not 1 day prior, but 2 weeks prior, we can do it. 3 weeks prior, no problem. You send us everything, and then we have time to set everything up, okay? Guys, do you have more questions? Let me look into your questions one more time, and then we're already at the end of the show. So let me see if I have everything replied for tonight. Let me see. Hello, are you reading everyone's questions real time live or much later on? Global International, you are sending the questions, as I said, in the webcast thing. So I read them live now and reply them live now. As I said, there's the comment question. When the show is over, I don't reply any more questions, except you send me an email. Then you have to, then I reply obviously to the email info@afacolombia@gmail.com or afacolombia7@gmail.com, or you can also call us 602-553-8178 from the United States, extension 2018. How do you inquire or get more information about the tour? Sean, you could call directly in Phoenix. You can reach out to that email. You can write Michelle of group tours as well, and you can go on the website loveme.com, and then you go on the /tour/order. You can see it on the right hand side. It's called Tour Dates and Forms. So you're going to see that on the website, single tours, loveme.com, single tours. Or as I said, you write us an email and then we help you, no problem. Or you call us. What is the best restaurant? You already asked that. What about the expectations women have of the men? What expectation? Okay, what expectations do Colombian women have of themselves in a relationship, marriage? So the women are looking for a man who is stable, right? Who is the provider, who's the rock. What does the woman do? The woman is making the rest, basically, right? She's not going to provide, but she's going to cook, she's going to clean, she's going to take care of you, she's going to probably wash the clothes, she's going to take care of the children. Most of them do work. They're usually very romantic, they're usually very caring, they usually take care of the husband. Some of them cut their husband's nails, make their nails, cut them, take them to the barber shop, buy new clothes, say, honey, look, I bought that for you. Or some woman put the clothes out for the man in the morning, say, hey, I organized your outfit. Like, in general, she is just, like, she takes care of everything else except the financial part. So let me see the potential. We talked about that. We talked about Monica as well. I think I answered probably most of your questions. I know what you are looking for. If you know what you are looking for, you will hit the jackpot. But still remain in touch with AFA for advice. It is gold. Thank you, organic chocolate. Yes, I agree with you. Listen to what the office manager says and matchmaker says, helps you a lot. Because sometimes you guys go for one profile and sometimes it's not the right one. I have profile on the side. What is the price range, the monthly fees to have a membership? God bless you and take care, Lamont. Thank you. The letters is around $10 per letter, and the monthly fee to get the platinum membership, where you get a discount, so you pay less for the letters in the video calls, at $39.99. But then you still write the letters and you get a discount in the video calls when you do that premium membership, platinum membership, it's called. But if you also see a profile, you could also arrange a video call. And that is also maybe write 1 or 2 or 3 letters and see if she's interested, and then go on a video call. Because I would not write letters for 4 months and then meet in person. Like, it would be good to write for 2-3 weeks, make 2-3 video calls, and then meet in person. Should be good the second date. We talked that, how well does the agency vet the lady? My concern is that I don't want to feel that money is the most important thing that the women are interested in. Howard, the ladies are not like that. We say, okay, we vet them to say who's interested in money and who is not interested and all that. What we do is, like, we look with you together at the profile, and we basically see a certain type of woman who's very interested in money. So we can tell you that from their pictures, we can tell you that from their behavior, and we can tell you that from our experience. So if you don't want to feel make somebody where money you have feeling is the most important, then listen to us, look at the pictures, and don't go for the most sexy, the most plastic surgery, the most produced. Because the more produced sometimes the woman is, I don't want to generalize because that's not everybody, but in general, if somebody invests in her outer beauty, in her body and everything, usually there's a lot of that in the relationship too. So I would be there careful. But if you need any advice, that's why we're here. That's why we help you to vet out these women in the dating process, and really see what is your dating criteria, what you want. But like a general advice, don't go too sexy. If she doesn't have a lot of clothes on her pictures, I would be a little bit careful. In general, it's a sexy culture, so maybe don't get me wrong. And especially when you see photos from the coast in Barranquilla and Cartagena, Santa Marta, you will see a lot of bikini shots. Bikini shots is not a problem because they live at the coast. It's a Caribbean country. People show themselves and they show bodies. It's not a bad thing if she shows her body, but if she has a lot of very sexy photos in underwear, only underwear, very sexy, every pose is very sexy, then yeah, I would be a little bit careful there. But we help you, Howard, if you have questions and you need help, so that we vet that out with you. That is what we do, no problem. Once you go on a date, you will discover real quick which girls are interested in a relationship and which are just looking for money. So Howard, here you have your answer as well. You will realize quite quickly when you go out with them, and latest on when you go home. Lots of things change when you go home, so you have to see how the behavior changes when you go home, if it's still the same behavior. Garrett, I rather just toss the dice and show up at the social and see what happens. You can tell much from a letter, email, or even a cell phone call. Garrett, that is also great advice. Everybody's different, and I think it's also really cool to just go to social and see what happens, go on the tour and see what happens. Some guys really send a list in, some guys will say, I just go there and meet, and who will be there for me. And I have really seen a good outcome to this, because you're not attached to the outcome. You're going naturally and see what happened, and you're going to flow. And that is one of the biggest advice I can maybe give you tonight at the end of the show is, don't try to control everything, plan everything, and like attach your money to the outcome. Yes, I understand that you invest money to come here, but see it as a vacation, see it as a travel, and see it as a learning experience. But if you go here and say, oh, I spent $3,000 and now I'm on that date and that woman is not then you're going to probably getting frustrated, and it's not like, okay, I did that and now I should get that. Yes, you invest. When you invest, you obviously want to have get something out of it, but as I said, like, there is no guarantee when you invest, right? That is what you do. And just like, if you go with that open, I'm just going there, I know it's going to happen for me, and I'm going with an open expectation, like with an open mind, like I'm not controlling everybody's there, or she said she's coming and then she didn't come, and now I'm and she stood me up on the date. I mean, that all happens. Unfortunately, it all happens that you get sometimes stood up, that she said she comes and she didn't come. So, but don't get unrealistic expectation, and don't try to control the outcome. Just flow with whatever happens. And Garrett, what you said, like, I just go to the social and see what happens, and just feel how everything is. I think this is a really good approach. Everybody's different, but Garrett, I hope to be in Colombia anyway in July. Hopefully we have a social at that time. I will check into it. Yes, we have one in July in Barranquilla, Garrett, on the 18th of Barranquilla, the 18th of July in Barranquilla. So that would be a good date to come. If you any way are in Colombia. And Barranquilla is a great city to date and to go on the socials and to the tour. So guys, I hope I answered all your questions. If you have more questions, please reach out. As I said, you have our phone number here and you have our email address here. You can reach out anytime. You can check out the website, loveme.com, medellindating.com, barranquillasingles.com, cartagenawomen.com. It's all us. And yeah, I hope to see you in a month. Manuela will be back in 2 weeks in the next show. If you have questions meanwhile, as I said, reach out. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And thank you for your question. Thank you for participating. And I wish you a great week. Bye-bye.
Y me encanta continuar la noche de hoy con más hermosas chicas que tenemos aquí en la ciudad de Medellín y una de ellas es Mónica. ¿Cómo estás?